Hi, my name's Alana Heim of Prosperity Alignment, and in this video, we're talking all things fear and all things struggle. And did you know that fear actually shows up as struggle? Struggle is one of the fear gates. It's the gate 28 in the human design system. What's often the thing that we forget is we all have struggle. We don't want struggle, and it's never fun. Today's actually a really highly energetic day, a 4-star day, lots of energy, great things are happening. Yet, I know I still have some struggle that I deal with because I consistently have the gate 28. And so what that looks like for me is things feel hard. It just feels like life's hard. Sometimes it can even show up as life having no purpose, no meaning, and wondering like, why are we here? Why am I here? What's the intention? And so I just want to give you a couple examples of the struggle for me. Because here's the thing, we never know what others are going through. You don't know somebody's story. You don't know their perspective. You don't know their viewpoint. Maybe things actually are harder for them than they think, and they're struggling to get by, struggling with lovability, struggling to be heard, to be seen. Those are some things that I struggle with. Yet the perception, especially for me, a lot of people think that things are easy for me. They actually are intimidated by me and my energy. I am very excited. I have this enthusiasm. I know what I want to go and do, and I have the willpower to help me. Not everybody does, but they think that just comes easy. They think it must not be hard for me. And I want you to know how hard it really does feel and what I have to do to overcome that feeling. I have emotional energy. So having the 3740 emotional tribal wave, when things don't go my way or the way I expect, I get upset. And then I have to deal with the emotions and learn from what they were showing me. So for example, we just did the Prosperity Trails, our 2-week road trip last month in July, and it finished out in August. So it was just a few weeks ago. We actually were on the tail end of our journey. Mercury had actually gone direct, but we were still in that shadow phase. So we had truck troubles, right? We weren't expecting to be stuck longer in Crescent City, but there were great things that came from that. And my husband got to learn more about his truck and how to do things with it because the friend we stayed with, her husband is a mechanic and he was able to help us. And so that felt like a struggle, but there was so much good that came from it. There were many blessings. And that's the adventure, if you will, of struggle. Life doesn't have meaning unless you give it that meaning and you get to play with it and experience the good and the bad to realize it's all really good. Before we even went on that trip, I thought, I'll get the carpets cleaned. And I had this Groupon, got it scheduled, right? Everything everybody does. But for me, the struggle is for whatever reason, I'm not always seen, and I fall through the cracks. And I used to not speak up about it. And what I have realized is it's time for me to say something, right? So, of course, we've got it scheduled. I've got an agreement. My 3740 channel is like, we have an agreement, you're showing up. It's in my calendar, I know you're coming. But I don't have the energy to follow up and babysit people. So I didn't take responsibility to make a phone call the night before to ensure the carpet guy was coming. So, of course, he didn't show. And as the time was slowly ticking by, minutes, he's late, and 30 minutes rolls, I'm kind of freaking out because intuitively, I already knew something was amiss. So I call. And to my horror, he gives me all these excuses and then is realizing he doesn't even know who I am. He doesn't have me in his calendar. He doesn't have a vehicle, right? This was still in the heart of Mercury retrograde. His vehicle went down. His one and only vehicle for carpet cleaning went down. never called me because he never wrote it in the calendar, never put me in. That, my friends, is struggle at its finest, especially for a projector. Somebody who already is not always seen or heard. And for me, that's a pattern. That's something that happens. So I was really, really upset because guess what? The night before, my husband and I had spent a lot of time moving all the furniture out of those rooms. Not an easy task for two projectors who are already exhausted. And luckily, we had started but hadn't quite finished one room. We thought, no, we're gonna hold off. I find out he's not coming. We didn't end up taking down our entire bed and our bedroom. We had already spent quite a lot of time getting stuff out of our room. I had to feel my emotions, and they came through. I'm pretty sure he knew I was crying on the phone because I couldn't stop them. And I had to calm down and then use my ability to recall data and information and give him specifics to say, do you remember this? And that I have stairs, and you said you were not going to clean the stairs and it was extra. And suddenly he's like, oh, I kind of remember. Oh, right? So then I felt like I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. But this struggle, right? This perception, this illusion of struggle, it was there to teach me that, you know what? I am going to have to follow up on agreements, and I am going to have to make a phone call and make it right. When he did come and made time later that week, because I was adamant, you have to come. My house is a mess. My furniture is everywhere. Luckily, his transportation was fixed. And when he showed up, right, he kind of apologized at the end, but I didn't get anything extra. And that happens. And so a lot of that struggle of people go through struggle, and there's service and making things right. That doesn't happen for me. I don't get extras. I don't know why, right? These are the things that I'm having to explore and recognize and appreciate that, you know what? I guess I don't need that handout, but I am going to call you out and make sure that you know this wasn't okay. This isn't how I serve my clients. So I have all these things that have happened, all these crappy experiences, and oh my gosh, my own vehicle had issues when we returned from Prosperity Trails vacation. And the issues I had at the mechanic, the dealer, it was terrible. And I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to call, but nobody was calling to tell me what was going on. And by the time I had to finally fight for myself, right? That's the opposite energy of the Gate 28. The 38 is this advocacy and standing for yourself. And it's like all these fears would come up of like, oh no, what if this doesn't work? And oh no, what if I don't get my car? And I'm trying to stay out of the fear, right? And the fear, it's so real. The struggle, it's real. And I had a really shitty experience. And I was formulating a way for me to stay calm and out of my emotions. Yet when I showed up to get my vehicle, the emotions were there. And I was still trying to be rational through it. And for my crappy experience, right? Most people get something. I got $100 off of a $1,500 deal. Big deal, right? All I cared about was that someone told me they were going to help take care of it and talk to whoever and let me know what they can do, or I just wanted to make sure this didn't happen to others. Yet I've heard nothing since. And that's similar to my children being kicked out of school. Things happen, and I look to see the blessing, to see what I learned from the experience so that the struggle can be gone, right? It doesn't have to be there forever. And it's fascinating how often I'm taking responsibility and really wanting to ensure that this doesn't happen again. It already happened to me. Please don't let it happen to others. To deaf ears. Not really heard. And it sucks that I have to get more and more, let's just say, emotional, right? To be seen, to be heard. To the point where I got sick this last week because there were other errors that happened that related in my business where the communication was very clear and I had all the details and I had to pull it up to say, look, this is what we had agreed on, and it didn't happen. So I want you to know that even when it feels hard, and it is hard, you're going to come out the other side. And I have my twins who are 5 who started kindergarten. I have Taylor who is 11 who's starting to become an adolescent. It feels so hard to try and keep all of these balls juggling in the air, wear all these hats, right? As a wife, as a mom, as a business owner, as holding all these torches and trying to light the world, right? Like, that's what I really want to do. And Taylor's becoming emotional. She already is emotional. She has the 4130. But adolescence-wise, hormonally, right? She's changing, evolving. I've got that new struggle. My twins, they're still exhausting in the way of their energy is so big, right? They have so much more energy than I have or my husband has. And I love that they're teaching us so much. And sometimes we learn too fast and it's so overwhelming. It feels like a struggle, right? Like I was talking to a client earlier, it feels like you're at the bottom of the ocean with these chains wrapped around you and you can't float up or you can't go anywhere and you're stuck. But the key's right there in your hand. You just couldn't see it. You just needed to change your perspective. Change the view, right? See it in a different light. I have to do this every day. And I struggle with so many things and trying to do way more than I should because I'm a projector I shouldn't be doing. And I still do. I'm breaking that conditioning. I hope you are too. And then when we have the world hurl at us, all of these stigmas, perceptions that are untrue, all these false beliefs, right? That I have people who look at me and think, oh, my life is easy. And nobody's life is easy. It's never easy. If it's easy, then you're just kind of skating by and your soul is not evolving as quickly as it wants. But those of us who want to evolve more quickly, right, it gets overwhelming. I had wanted to really create this video when I was healthy and my voice is still hoarse. Luckily, my coughs is not present, right? I'm able to communicate with you and articulate just how important it is to understand the fear, to recognize the fear, the struggle, that it's real for you. It's real for every person who's in it, even if you can't see it, because you're not in their shoes. You are not them. But change the view, right? Change the perspective. If I just change the view a little here, right? You can see more of the picture. I can see more of the picture. And that's a totally different story, right? And here in this struggle, where we have this attachment that can happen to life being hard, what if I changed the view to now see that life can be easy and I can let things be? Trust it's going to be okay. Let the fear go, right? My vehicle is fixed. My carpets are cleaned. The truck is okay. My kids are emotional, but they're happy. As long as I'm happy. And I haven't been happy lately because I've been so stressed out, trying to figure it all out, being sick. I want you to love yourself, forgive yourself, be in gratitude to yourself for who you are, and understand that that is what we need to give ourselves, but we also need to give it to each other. And if you are intimidated by someone, what is it that they have that you think you don't have, that you just haven't tapped into? Maybe that person is showing you possibility you couldn't see for yourself. And maybe you didn't think timing was right. That's okay. But don't look at them negatively just because you're looking at yourself negatively. We are all here to evolve and grow together, to see the picture, right? See more than we could see before, and to love and trust and create this higher consciousness than ever before. It's all about trusting to overcome the fear of struggle or any of the fear gates. And I'm excited because I'm teaching a live webinar on September 8th and on September 10th. And this is 3 keys to conquering your fear. And it's important because as we head into October, the fear gates get activated by the sun's energy. You're going to feel these fears even more intensely. And if you have them consistently, or even if you don't, it's going to have an influence. And I want you to be prepared, and I want you to understand fear so you can literally transcend it and let it have less of a power over you. It's so important. I will give you details on how you can register for that. Most importantly, please, just be you. Enjoy the ride, the roller coaster ride of struggle, whatever that may look like, and honor yourself. And I will see you soon. Blessings. Bye.